I'm Joe, and this is Jan Willinger, and we came to PVCC a little over 7 years ago. So, I work back in Valley Kids with kids. I get to sometimes, teach my own grandchildren, but other times as a proxy for other grandparents. And I would really love to see a lot more graybeards, back there ministering to the kids. So it just stirs my heart a lot, thinking that is really a legacy that God has called a lot of us who are still left around at our age. That's what we're here for. We're here to influence the next generations. It's very, very important. The scripture says, teach us to number our days. So even from a young age, you should be thinking about the time you're on earth. But the older you get, the easier it is to do. I was saved 50 years ago, and I don't know how many more days I have left. And what do I want to leave here?
As it relates to the facility, we've got to have people here. We've got to have room. We've got to have space. We've got to have volunteers. And so I just think it's really important that we all consider what we're doing with our time, what we're doing with our resource. And
we could get a lot more volunteers, but we wouldn't have room to bring more, have more kids in the room. I mean, there's kind of a limit on space. So we definitely need both. We need to multiply the space, and we need to multiply the workforce, and God will have to speak to people. So if He's speaking, listen and come on and join us.
So when the question came up about are we going to give, the answer was unequivocally yes, because we believe in the vision of the pastoral staff, and we prayed about it. And so Joe comes to me and he says, I want to give, I think we should give X number of dollars. When he gave me the number, I just looked at him and I was like, are you crazy? And what are you thinking? And where's that coming from? And essentially, it's coming from our future savings, and we're older, and we have children we're still raising, and we have a lot of grandchildren. We have a lot of medical issues going along in our extended family. And so I kind of was in shock. We've stepped out in faith to adopt kids and do things that a lot of people think are maybe a little crazy. But if that's what He believes God's calling, then I'm all on board with it. So, and since that time, it's just been really freeing, because to me, it's like staking a claim. Like, I've always said, I believe the Lord will take care of us. And He has so many, many times through all of the traumas and the tragedies and the joys our family has gone through. But this time, it's like, there's my future. It's really in God's hands.
And it was allowing us to stretch. If it's just extra, that's not a stretch. That's not faith. So this was a way in which we could say, do we really trust the Lord? If we trust the Lord, this is the amount that would stretch us to faith. Mm-hmm. And so let's not give just what we could find extra. Let's step out in faith. And that's like, Jan said, it's putting a stake in the ground and saying, Lord, I am going to trust you, because what does the future matter if the kingdom isn't furthered, if the kingdom doesn't grow? What's your legacy? Your legacy is growing the kingdom. Jesus has been growing the kingdom from a mustard seed 2,000 years ago to worldwide, and this is continuing to be one of those things He's doing to grow. And I want to be a part of that, don't I? Don't I want to get to heaven and say I spent my resources on earth to furthering God's kingdom, not furthering my kingdom? I hope so. And this was a test, and it was, a blessing to say yes to the Lord. What do I want to leave here? I want to leave the legacy of my kids, grandkids, knowing the Lord, serving the Lord, walking with the Lord. I want them, as they grow and as they get older in life, to be able to sing like I sing. All my life, Lord, you've been faithful. All my life, Lord, you've been good to me. And with every breath, I will sing your praises. It is peaceful to be all in.
Yeah.
It is peaceful to be all in.